via some of our programs. It would be remiss of me to not actually acknowledge where we are and the presence that we're in. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the regeneration that's taken place over at Elephant and Castle. This is the headquarters of Lend-Lease Elephant Park regeneration space. So without further ado, I'd love for you to join me in not only thanking, but welcoming Elise John Lewis, to the stage to talk a bit more about Lend-Lease and what they're doing at Elephant Park. Thank you, Elise.
Good afternoon.
Not to disturb, there's a mic here.
Oh, I've got some microphones.
Indeed.
Try and use all the tech now. So I'm Elise, and I'm the Social and Economic Development Manager here at Elephant Park. As Carl mentioned, this is a huge project for Elephant and Castle. It was the Haygate estate. So it's now called Elephant Park. We're building just over 3,000 homes, some office space, and also lots of retail as well, which will be open by the end of the year. So the purpose of Elephant Park is not only to be building the residential, much needed within London, but also to really create a great place that people want to come and hang out. A place that people want to use the amenities, want to meet friends, spend their leisure time and dwell, which is what Elephant and Castle very much needed. So that's our sole purpose, if you like. We're about halfway through our programme, so we've still got a way to go. We'll be done by 2025, which is when you'll see us pack up and move out, and Elephant Park will be complete. Where we're sat at the moment is our temporary office, so this is all going to be moved within about a year or so, as we make way for some more residential, which is going to be here. And the new addition to the development will be an office block to the front of Walworth Road. So that's us kind of in a nutshell. As I mentioned, we're about halfway through, and it's just over £2 billion worth of regeneration, so it's lots of money. For those that don't know, Lend-Lease is an Australian company. We split into a couple of different factions, if you like. I work for development, but we on this project are an integrated project. So Lend-Lease Development are the client and the developer, and Lend-Lease Construction are the delivery partner. So they're the people that are out there doing all of the building on our behalf, which is quite a unique position to be in within the UK building and construction market. So I guess that's it for us in terms of who we are and what we're doing here in Elephant and Castle. But again, just wanted to welcome you and hope you have a really great event. And also a little bit of boring housekeeping, sorry. But we are not expecting a fire alarm, so if it does sound, you'll use the door behind you to the left-hand side, all the way across our terrace down, and you'll congregate on Walworth Road.
I didn't notice any steps on the third floor terrace, to be fair. So how are we getting down, Elise?
No, they're right at the end. There
okay.
are. Yeah, they're totally hard. You won't have to abseil.
Okay.
So there is that. Also, we're quite security conscious here. I'm sure you guys had an interesting time trying to get through. But to use the bathroom, you're going to need to use a pass, which is on the end of the table just here. And the bathrooms are located through the doors just behind us, all the way to the end and on the right-hand side. And you'll need a pass to tap through and then to come back again. And that is it for me. Just say welcome, and I hope you have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Elise. Thank you. I think the one thing that really stood out about what Elephant and Park represents is actually the fact that they're really embedding entrepreneurship right into the local ecosystem here in Elephant and Castle. The fact that Elise has talked so passionately previously as well about some of the different types of businesses that they're supporting here, I think it really resonates with a lot of the businesses that you're going to see here today and how they're going to be really striving to have an impact on their own local communities. I've also got to mention a big hello to the audience that are following us on live stream. This is going to be on YouTube, broadcast directly. So, thanks again. And unfortunately, you won't be able to get any of the canapes, but it really is great. And again, thanks, Lenny, to the canapes. For those that don't know about what we do as part of the Student Enterprise team, we basically run a lot of programs to help entrepreneurs, be they students or graduates, really start to take an idea and to take that forward into something which has a tangible impact, both on their communities, on their families, on themselves, broadly speaking. And although my boss, Lindsay, can't make it today, I know that she would love to talk a bit more about that impact. She has this term which she's coined transformational entrepreneurship. And the way in which she defines that, it's all about how we as a university can really start to embed into students and graduates those skills that really help people understand understand how to be creative, how to solve problems, how to work collaboratively in teams, but ultimately how they can then take those skills and then make their employability outcomes a lot more compelling. Whether they are graduating into really compelling career prospects, or whether actually they're starting ventures like the people that you're going to see today and being entrepreneurial. And I think from my perspective, that's the thing that really stands us apart from a number of different universities, a number of different entities, in terms of really focusing on the individuals and the skills that they can gain through their programming. And yeah, that's something that I'm really compelled to work with. And I guess also, when you look at our different programs, it's really obvious to see the skills and the passion that people have for not only acquiring those skills, but applying those skills in real-world settings. The really interesting thing about the programs that you're going to see today is that a lot of the entrepreneurs, they're from such diverse backgrounds, from diverse sectors, and they really do broadly advocate some of the widest breadth of the spectrum that we work with. And from my perspective, that's again really interesting. You're going to see people that are really starting social enterprises, people that are starting technology businesses, and all of them stand to have such a great impact on themselves, their futures, but also more importantly, their local communities. So I change a slide. The one common link, though, that you notice is that all of them talk so passionately about their business. And that passion not only comes from what they want to do, but it comes from having the confidence in the skills that they've acquired to actually go out and have that real-world impact on their communities. And I'm sure that you'll not only acknowledge, you'll not only celebrate that, but you'll also join me in really championing that today. So, as I'm sure you're aware, standing up here can be quite challenging, whoever the audience, so please join me in just really celebrating them, really kind of whooping and being all American and really starting to clapping loud when they get up here and they talk and they share their babies with you, their passion with you, all right? But as I said, today it's all about understanding the people that we work with, the programs that they've been through, and the real spectrum that they come across from LSBU. We're going to be hearing from not only students who have gone through some of our programming, but also graduates who have gone through our recent Graduate Entrepreneur Scheme program, as well as someone who's recently graduated from our Graduate Entrepreneur Scheme program. So it should really give you a breadth of how we can support people, but also more importantly, how they've gone on to achieve such incredible success once they've worked with us, post-working with us. Without further ado, I would love to introduce you to someone who I met when she was just 17, and that was quite a while back. This person, she epitomizes dynamicism in terms of entrepreneurship. When I first met her, she was pitching her first business in front of a room packed to the rafters of business angel investors. And since then, we've had the pleasure of working with her throughout our first year through some of our programming, and also as well, working with her on a one-to-one basis to make sure that actually her latest business, it really smashes it. So without further ado, I'd love for you to put your hands together and welcome Giulietta to the stage to talk about Branch Brush. The clicker's just there. And
use this?
Yeah.
Does it work?
It's for the live stream, so people that are watching can hear you.
Oh, that's me. Okay. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. It means so much to me. Yeah, we go way back. It's really cool. My name is Giulietta, and I'm going to be telling you a bit about my journey and about Branch Brush. This is really last minute, by the way, so I'm going to be clicking through a few slides, and please don't pay attention when I look at my notes, which I will be doing. Okay, so in our world today, there are more mobile phone users than toothbrush users. However, the plastic via these toothbrushes is still enough to spread around the earth 4 times on an annual basis, right? Crazy. And to tackle this problem, myself and my co-founder, Katie, have launched a company called Branch Brush. What is Branch Brush? Branch Brush is an ancient form of oral hygiene, originally used over 7,000 years ago. I see some heads nodding. I'm sure you guys, I think you guys know about it, yeah? Which is amazing. It was used over 7,000 years ago. It's actually the first ever toothbrush used. This little stick here comes from the root of the Salvadora tree. And it has every property within it to brush your teeth without the use of fluoride toothpaste or mouthwash or floss or any of that. It does everything for you, and it's Mother Nature's very own toothbrush. So all you do is literally like a root, and then you take off the outer layer, and it creates these natural bristles which brush your teeth brilliantly. I'm going to pass this around just so you can have a look. This is my personal one. I didn't bring any samples, I'm sorry, but you can just pass it around just so you can have a look. Yeah. So this is my co-founder, Katie. As well as being my co-founder, she is my best friend. I've been friends with her since I was about 4 years old, and the whole concept came about when we were having some wine and cheese at my place just maybe about 2 years ago now, I think, about 2 years ago. And she was mumbling to herself about bamboo toothbrushes and about sustainability because she had just been to this really cool sustainable talk. And she was like, oh, talking about how much plastic's wasted. And I literally had that light bulb moment. That light bulb moment everyone talks about, like it is completely real. I had it, like right there and then, because I had remembered my dad bringing back these things from Afghanistan. So my dad's from Afghanistan, and he used to bring these back while I was growing up, and I used to always see him like brushing his teeth with them. And it just clicked. It's something that's completely sustainable, completely natural, and it works. So there and then, we were like, right, we need to do this. We need to westernize it, because yes, it's an idea that is used to this day around the world. It hasn't been westernized. I'm sure the majority of you don't know about it. Hands up if you do know about it. Nice. But yeah, so it hasn't really been westernized. It hasn't really been shown, I think, to just the greater population. So it's what we wanted to do. That was our plan. So on that night, we actually launched the company. We just kind of went for it, because I feel that if you don't, we all have ideas. We all have ideas. We have them every day. But if we don't go for them, then they're not going to become anything but an idea. And you have to put the action to your idea. And yeah, we sketched out a logo, which is actually the logo to this day. And we just went for it. And I think a thing that allowed me to go for it was knowing that I had the biggest support system, which was LSBU Enterprise. And I couldn't wait. I was so excited to go back into that office and be like, guys, I have a new company. I'm sure they were tired of seeing my face, but yeah. I'm like, oh, not again. Yeah. So I think that really helped me. It really kind of took the pressure off me, knowing that I had the support, and if it was a silly idea, I would hope that you'd tell me. So yeah. So it was a snowball journey since launching. So we launched the company. We went and told LSBU Enterprise, and it was perfect timing for us, because they had a program going on called Spark, which is a intense. Is it 6 weeks? 12-week program, and it's filled with workshops. You have mentors. Whatever questions you have, you can let them out, and you get feedback and you get answers. And it was so great, because what it does is it forces you to work on that idea. Because otherwise, you get distracted. And for me personally, it works really well to be in a program where I have to show my progression every week. So we did that, which was really fun, and we literally built the idea into a company. And luckily for us, on the last day, there was a pitch-a-thon, and the winning company won some funding to take their business further. Luckily for us, we won that, which is really amazing, and it really helped us kind of push the company further. And so much so that quickly after, we joined Fast Forward, which was a pre-accelerator. And that was really great as well. We met so many great mentors. We learned how to pitch for investment, which was really exciting and a whole new world. And that then took us even further, where we started to do our first pop-ups in and around London. We actually got asked to sponsor Berlin Fashion Week. So we flew out to Berlin, it was crazy. And we were sponsoring with Branch Brush, and it was it was really cool. And we also sponsored Tier Fund, which is a really cool charity, and it was really cool to go to their event. I think it was in Birmingham. We spent 2 days there, so that was really fun. And it's just been a complete whirlwind journey, and I think all of it's just played a part. And I think if it wasn't for Spark, I'm not too sure how much of this would have happened. As well as that, so yeah, we had a bit some office space for some time at the Clarion Centre because of Spark, which was really good as well. It was really nice to be able to, when we had our meetings and we were bringing in professional people, it was really cool to be hey, come to the Clarion Centre. It really does just give you that confidence. So that was really nice as well. And yeah, we Yeah, so this has happened since. At the moment, we are working on a rebrand. So I think the whole program, what it's done, is it's made us realize exactly what we want to do and where we want to be. So we're currently like on a big rebrand and a relaunch. So originally the toothbrushes were sold online, and that's what we did throughout the whole of last year. However, we realized that what we wanted to do is have actual like starter kits and packs and sell them in retail stores. So we currently have our manufacturers in Pakistan who are creating our retail product, and we're looking to retail out in stores. Well, yeah, very soon, very soon. So fingers crossed. So yeah, and not only that is Branch Push is a big move. It's a movement. It's not just a product. We have a movement called #OneMouth@Time, and we really want to be able to kind of change the world. With a toothbrush. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but I think you have to start somewhere. And yeah, we chose to tackle this problem. I've completely not looked at my notes. Okay. Yeah, I think as well with this product, the hardest thing is we're changing a mindset. You brush your teeth, well, I hope you do, every single day, twice a day. And you've been doing it with plastic toothbrushes, electronic toothbrushes for the majority of your life. And we are trying to change a mindset. And that was really difficult for us. And it still is to this day. Like, it is the most difficult thing you can do. But I think, again, what LSBU Enterprise has helped us is give us that confidence to be able to do so, and to challenge the status quo. And that's what we are looking to do. I'm going to skip that and skip that. So yeah, that's a bit of my journey. And if you want to check out Branch Brush, this is our website. We're not currently selling online anymore because we're doing our relaunch. But check us out on Twitter for updates. That's my personal Twitter. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. And sorry for mumbling, but yeah, thanks.
And there's that pasta I talked about, right? Does anyone have any quick questions for Giulietta at all? Nope, I've got a quick question.
Don't be shy.
I'm sorry, please, Emily.
Your brush, has it been tested dermatologically?
Just for those that didn't hear at the back, the question was, has the brush been tested dermatologically?
Yeah.
I love it when someone asks me that because it's actually been approved by the World Health Dental Organization. Yeah. So it is definitely approved. If anything, it's more approved than your toothbrush or the toothpaste you use. It's been used for way longer, and yes, it's approved all over the world. Yeah.
Last question?
Is it the same substance that is used in West Africa or in Africa? Is it as a chewing stick, is it the same substance or is it something different?
So there are a lot of different roots that are used for brushing your teeth. Most popular is the Salvador root, which is this one, probably because of the texture. So you can use a lot. You can even use olive root. There's a lot you can use. A lot of them use the Salvador tree. So this is very, very similar, if not the same thing. But like I said, it just depends on the tree they have in their back garden kind of thing. So we're going to be selling this and the olive root to have a bit of USP going on in the market. But yeah, it depends whereabouts in the world it is. It depends what trees they have growing there. But this is extremely popular, mainly in Africa and Asia, yeah. Perfect. Exactly this one.
Let's give Giulietta another big round, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Giulietta. And thank you for jumping in at such a last minute to kind of tell us your story. Jeez. I'm sure that was really inspiring for everyone, right? Right? Thank you, thank you. I think also as well, the compelling thing about Giulietta is that not only does she have this entrepreneurship background before she started at LSBU, but that was honed and refined through one of our programs without kind of blowing our horn too much there. But also as well, what Giulietta went on, the Spark program, was just one of the two programs that we really run that help entrepreneurs. The other program that we really talk about a lot, that you're going to see a lot of evidence of today, is the Graduate Entrepreneur Scheme. So As the name suggests, it is solely for graduates within 5 years. But the really compelling thing about this is that it's not just about giving people access to desk space or giving people access to great entrepreneurs and residents that have so much business expertise to really provide them with a helping hand to really help their businesses forward. But it's also about giving them real programming to really help them understand the weaknesses that they have in terms of sales or marketing or accountancy or intellectual property, but basically all the things that they need to know to really take their business forward. And tonight you're going to be hearing from 8 graduate entrepreneurs, 6 different companies, who are really going to be telling you a bit more about not just their businesses, but also the progress they've made in the last year with developing and taking those businesses to market. So the first graduate entrepreneur that I want to introduce you to, I've got the clicker here. You'll hear that they're transforming how we send physical post. But before you hear any more about them from my perspective, I'd love to introduce to you my colleague and my fellow student enterprise manager, Libby England, who's worked with them a load over, my colleague, Nina Lansen, who's worked with them over the last year to really help refine what they do and how they do it. So she's going to introduce you to them from her perspective. So please give a big round of applause to Nina Lansen, student enterprise manager at LSBU. Sorry, Nina.
That's all right, you can live if you want.
Sorry, the microphone's just there.
You need to remember to use the microphone.
Yeah.
Used one of these before. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Nina and I'm one of the student enterprise managers at LSBU. I have the pleasure of introducing Genia and Theo, who have co-founded Postery. As Carl said, Postery have created a online marketing platform that is essentially changing the way that direct mail is sent, and is kind of trying to revolutionise that, because I think direct mail has kind of had a bit of a bad time. Like, we're all moving to digital and it's sort of a bit unloved, and they're trying to change that by essentially creating like trackable, customised direct mail that you can then get the same analytics for digital. So it's really great. I've worked with them over the last 12 months. I've seen them really high and ecstatic when things have gone really great. I've seen them not so happy when things haven't gone so good. But I'd just like to say it's been an absolute pleasure working with you over the last 12 months. When I found out that I was going to be supporting you, given my background of like marketing and communications, I was super excited, and I've really enjoyed being on the journey with you. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I hope you enjoy this moment as well of taking a look back over the last 12 months. So yeah, please give a warm welcome to Jenny and Theo.
Just like this. Cool. Thanks for the introduction. So I'm Theo. Pardon? Oh, wicked. Cool. So I'm Theo. This is Ginia. So ads are now more expensive than they've ever been before. And also they're making the ads less effective as people become blind spotted to anything which is remotely promotional. But there's a new trend in marketing with companies like Google and Amazon spending vast sums of money on what used to be considered an old and outdated form of marketing. But they do it because it works. And that's sending real physical posts to people's letterbox. Real post that people can touch and feel has a much higher impact when it's seen, and the message is kept in the household and in memory for longer. So Postery is a platform that makes it effortless to send this kind of marketing for a business. You simply design your postcard on our editor, import your mailing list, and hit send. It's as easy as sending emails. But Postery is a lot more powerful than that, because Postery is the only platform that combines the ability to dynamically personalize every piece of post, so everyone receives a unique personal message, with the ability to track and measure the performance of your campaigns, which gives you what works and what doesn't. And it also has a built-in professional design service. So any business can send personalized, professionally designed postcards without the overhead of an expensive design. So our business model is really simple. We charge 64p per card, whether you're sending one card or 5,000 cards. and it costs us 35p to print and post. And that process has now been entirely automated. So we've already helped dozens of businesses run successful campaigns. We've got over 400 businesses registered on Postry now. And some of our customers have seen return on investment of up to 2,000%. I'm now going to hand over to Junior, who's going to tell us a bit about our journey so far.
So how did we get there, actually? So we had a basic app, but we had no traction. So we literally needed to define our customer base. So LSBU mentors really helped us in this stage to define our customer audience so that we stopped chasing just unprofitable leads. So once we had this in place, we could generate our first case studies, and that really helped us to start growing, but we needed to grow even more. So through this program, we had like the opportunity to have like a lot of marketing workshops, which really helped us at this stage to grow. And we implemented all the strategies in the course of a couple of months, and we saw really great result out of it. So now we are ranked for, maybe I describe it a bit better. We ranked on Google search #1 when you type in postcard marketing. So it's a great result, and we get a lot of traction out of it. So it wasn't an easy journey, it was quite hard. And as Nina said as well, we went through up and downs, and it was tough at sometimes, but through the whole support which we got, through all of the mentors, we made it happen, and also the community around us. So if you have a business, and we both believe in it really strongly, and you want to target people personally, then sign up for Postry, and we have 30 free cards for you, which is this link, which I was looking for, and talk to us after the event, and give your customers like more personal kind of marketing, send them greeting cards, thank you cards, other kind of offers, and talk to us after the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, don't go anywhere just yet. Because I'm sure there's some questions that people have for Jenia and Theo. Anyone at all?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're going to be that one.
The 400 business, well done for your business. And then the 400 businesses that you said you've got 400 businesses on the platform. How often do they use your services? Weekly, I would say.
So that's a good question. I probably don't have that metric in front of me right now.
Emily, geez. Unless you're handing over some money.
Have you got an idea? Or
But I think it really depends on the kind of businesses, right? Because we have like really small businesses which just come up and there's like one big event happening, so they use it maybe once every 3 months. And then we have like bigger companies which are have reoccurring events, so they're using on a regular basis. So for instance, if one order happens, they just send automatic postcard through us.
And I think that's the really compelling thing about your platform. It literally is down to however your businesses, your clients want to use your platform. They can use it as often or as irregular as they want. But I mean, from our perspective, as an organisation, as a university supporting you, I know that you've done a lot of work with our marketing team to really understand how they can use it. And the capability for a university marketing team to use your platform, it's really astounding. I'm sure you've got a lot of businesses on there that are doing that, using your platform in a way whereby you probably never envisaged beforehand. Any other questions at all?
It's not a question. I've used them before, absolutely amazing. So please take the 30.
Thank you. I've got a very quick question, actually. What's been your biggest highlight of the last year? That many? To both of you,
I
please.
think the biggest highlight for me was when we got our first big customer and we didn't know how to handle him. We literally had no idea how to handle it, and through a lot of support, Neil helped us quite a lot. Like even Nina gave us some advice to speak with a lawyer, and we wouldn't have been able to manage this without you guys. So I think this was the highlight for me, because I know without you we would have never managed to go through.
Perfect. Last question, Adrian.
Yeah, it's going to be the difficult one. So, I interviewed you. I was involved in your acceptance onto the course. What's happened to your team over the past year? Has it grown? Do you need a new team, or?
So when we started, there was 3 of us, and Sam kind of left midway through to basically go and work in oil and go on to a break and make loads of money. But he still has like a soft involvement in poetry. Through that time, we took on like some interns, so we had like some people doing some intern work. I guess that was never planned to be long term. It was more kind of temporary stuff.
But why did? Okay, he went to make money in oil. Why didn't he stay? What made him lose focus on the business that the three of you, kind of wanted to make money?
So originally it was me and Junior who started the company. He came in a bit later. So I think there were some issues around us kind of not feeling so much like he was part of it from the beginning. So it wasn't like the three of us got together and came up with the idea originally. So
I think that's also the challenge of a startup business, right, Adrian, in the sense that when someone's at that embryonic stage whereby they have a great idea and they're all guns blazing to really kind of appeal to their market and really get something out there, anything can happen. And when someone has that compelling thing of making a load of money really quickly, there's always going to be that balance between a job that gives you money and also just staying true to this passion and this vision that you have. And to be honest, I mean, you guys have done incredible work over the last year. 400 companies, that's not to be sniffed at. So congratulations to you guys for getting this far. So another round. Tackling the massive challenge of mental health. To introduce her and her business, I'd love for you, that is you, giving the game away. To introduce Yvonne, I'd love to introduce you to, again, one of my colleagues from the Student Enterprise team, Libby England, who's worked with her for the last year. So please give her a big round for Libby.
Check one.
Do I need this? I do. Okay. Hi, everyone. So I've been asked to say a few words to introduce Yvonne, which is impossible for those of you that know her. There are not enough words that can describe this lady and her achievements over the last year. So just 12 months ago, Yvonne was interviewed and went through the assessment process to take part in the Graduate Entrepreneur Scheme. I was not involved in her assessment, but heard such amazing things about her performance through that process that I was actually quite daunted at the prospect of working with someone who had obviously developed such amazing skills to do so well at that point. Throughout the last year, working with Yvonne has actually been a real learning experience for me as well. Yvonne has a very unique and extremely positive approach to learning, which is an asset not just to herself, but to the entire program, because that has a really positive effect on those around her. She's a very self-aware and very reflective learner, which I think is skills that are fantastic for anybody, but in regard to building a business, that is absolutely standing Yvonne in very good stead. The achievements that Yvonne has made in the past year are quite amazing. She has not just achieved all of the targets that she set herself, but has absolutely surpassed them in terms of developing her product range, building her network. For those of you who don't know her, you will by the end of the evening. And just really being very aware and proud of her journey. So I'm sure you'll all really enjoy hearing about Yvonne's successes and about her really inspiring business called Happy Steps.
Thank you, Libby, for introducing me. So that's excellent. And privileged to be here today. In 2007, when I first started working for the South London and Worsley Hospital, I'd lost my voice. I had no confidence at all, and I didn't have a diagnosis then of dyslexia and learning difficulties, and further on I found out that I had dyspraxia. Well, my life has been really, really challenging. I have mental health daily challenges. But when I was a child, I have an aunt, and her name is Catherine, and we used to sit down, and she used to tell me all the stories under the sun. So if anybody talks to me about anything, I begin to tell a story just like my aunt. But she will always say to me, it was a hell of a day. So we'd been through a lot. So the most, yeah. So what happened was, if I one day Angelo, yeah. One day I had difficulty leaving my house, and it took about 3 hours, and I said, how am I going to leave my house? And I can remember someone saying to me, Yvonne, in life, it's a long road to get to from A to Z. So I thought, how am I going to leave my house? So I drew 2 feet, and I put everything that I was feeling in these 2 feet: low self-esteem, self-worth, challenges in leaving my house, discrimination. You know, I was really, who am I? Who am I? I was going through so much turmoil, but at the back of it, I had my family and my really few good friends to support me. So I drew 2 feet, and I said, number one, I had to be happy to step out of, happy to leave my house, and number two, I had to step out of my house. So I came back and I thought, oh, that's really good. I'm going to title, this is going to be called Happy Steps. And what I did was put everything that I was experiencing in a calendar. And with the calendar, it's got a lot about my journey, but it's also got about anxiety and depression that I have. And I think when I came out today, the first words that I was going to say to myself was that it's okay to have mental health problems, and it's really okay to talk about it, because a lot of people do not talk about it, and we suffer and we struggle in silence. So really, I think that, for my journey, it's about the experience that I've accepted myself, that I have mental health and learning difficulties and all the challenges. But I have a tendency that everything that I pick up, I design something out of it. So I've done the calendar, and I hope that you can buy them afterwards. I've got 50 to sell. Yeah. So that's one of my arts. But what I used to do was tie. So when I left my house, I used to write an armband, and I was really crying at the time. How am I going to leave my house? But I would put, do you know what? Be brave. I'm going to be okay. And I would put that round my wrist just to say that I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. And then I designed a comfort sheet, and this, my struggles were really on here, but it was how I knew that I had to get through my day. And so I designed a comfort blanket, so if anyone wants to have workshops, I'll be running those. Yeah. And so I did get in there, Carlos, everything that I was feeling, here, sometimes make a 20-minute appointment to see your GP. I used to write them all down here, but I have this creative idea in me that I'm going to turn it into something. So that's the self-help. handy hint booklet, and they've all sold really well. I've sold products. I did my market research, and I've sold to Mind, a dyslexia association, the Job Centre, Shore Trust. There's a number of organisations which have bought my products, and recently I've designed a booklet, and it's really about if you're vulnerable and you have learning difficulties, don't allow people into your house, don't allow people to take, allow you to fill in forms about your money. If you're afraid of someone, talk to them. So I haven't got a price on this yet, Sabri. So that would be really good. But yeah, so I've done a lot of market research. I studied here when I did lose my voice. It was my dyslexia tutor here, Ruth, that actually said to me, "Come on, Yvonne, you're talking too slow. I'm going to be here all night with you." But she stood me up in front of the board and she got me to start speaking. And with Ruth and her support, I was able to articulate my voice. I got confident, and she was my first student. I think I was about 40 plus then, but that's okay. And then Libby, she's really had to work very hard with me on the programme with my difficulties and all the challenges that I present. So she's been, everybody here in this room, my colleagues, my Adrian at the back. Huh? Come on, Adrian. Oh, thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian.
Just go, oh my God.
Oh, thank you, Adrian.
Do not be shy in what you do,
No.
because you've got it.
Thank you, Adrian. That's so nice of you to say. Oh, thank you, Adrian. So,
That's the first time I've ever stood up and said something about a student entrepreneur.
oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. But, when you have, mental health, you look at somebody every day and you never know what a person's going through. You never know how they're feeling. If you looked at me like 30 years ago, I was really walking down the road like Mrs. Doubtfire. I didn't have no shoes, no clothes, but I have a very supportive family and friends that really, and use the services, use the mental health services. I wasn't frightened to say, I need support from the SIPS team, I need support with my finances. I wasn't afraid. And if you know anybody that has mental health, really don't be afraid to talk to people. It's really difficult. So, Carl, let's go back to you now. Well, this is, I feel like when I started at the uni, I felt really privileged. And, Carl gave me that phone call to say, Yvonne, come along, we're gonna, enroll on the course. And he's been a real inspiration. Sometimes he's a bit of a hard work, but but
Just
that's
sometimes.
but that's okay. It's okay, because what I notice about the team, is that sometimes we have our good days, sometimes we have our bad days, and you know, but to be in a room, to be in a place where you feel cared for, that's enough to say, I've had a good day. So, you know, so thank you all for listening, and, you know, and for my friends here and whoever supported me, you know, my heart's really with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to keep that? Do you want to keep that?
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions to ask? You can't ask about my Auntie Catherine, 'cause she's very personal. She's like, yeah, come on. Yeah, Adrian.
Hold on, before Adrian asks another question, do you want to ask a question?
Well, I think because I've covered in this booklet, I've covered people that have intellectual difficulties. So my next project is to see if I can design something for people that have physical disabilities. So mental health does relate to physical disabilities as well. So that's my next project, and probably not going to a second-hand shop to buy shoes. Yeah, so, you know, I think that I'd like to do something like that, but, you know, but I think that, you know, it's okay to talk about mental health. I think it's World Mental Health Week this week, and I think that with my voice, because I have been supported, I would like to go on to support other people with similarities like myself. It's where I feel comfortable. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, as I said, I think it's really interesting just seeing someone talk so authentically about their journey. I think it's... I'm sorry? You had a question? Oh, sorry. Apologies. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I'll go back up. Yeah, yeah.
Well, one thing I was going to say, I mean, I'm conscious of time.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure a
already my
lot of you have
cousin.
questions. We'll ask one more question, but Yvonne, you're not going to go anywhere soon, right?
No.
We do have next door. If you do want to
Yeah.
kind of catch Yvonne
Yeah,
afterwards, then
I
feel
think
free.
so.
But yeah,
Just a
please.
quick observation. I think one of the powerful things about your presentation was around the authenticity of the story. I think the simplicity, but yet also the complexity of the subject matter that you're challenging. And also, it's about being in the moment. I think any product that you develop has to be in the moment. And I think, particularly with the opening up of discussions about mental health, it is such a timely and very much needed, simple and cheap tool. And the question that I have, if I were to say to you, in 5 years' time, where do you see yourself in Happy Steps? What would your response to that?
Well, now this is my cousin Doreen, I must say. And
this is
she
about
cooks the
you.
most best Sunday dinner. But anyway, what it is, I think in 5 years' time, I think I'd like to let Happy Steps go to internationally, like France, Belgium, and Germany. I know Theo's partner, she speaks German, so I've got some work for her. So, and Carmen, she speaks another language. But I cannot take on Happy Steps by myself. It's going to be a very, very big project. So I will still need to get the continued support to get to those steps of where I want to take it. Yeah?
International.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. And as I said, I'm conscious of time, but Yvonne ain't going nowhere quickly. So if you do have any questions for Yvonne, please feel free to go find her afterwards.
Thank you.
Next to the food, right? Cool. All right, so our next entrepreneurs. These are two guys who are having a very similar impact in terms of really helping young people get access to great information, education, but also in a very entertaining way through their platform. I've been really touched by them, but also as well, my colleague, again, Libby England, has worked with them right from when one of them was a student from the very first day he started his life here at university. So again, please give a massive warm welcome to Libby England to talk a bit more about our next entrepreneurs.
I guess this just means I'm really lucky and get to meet loads of really cool students and graduates through my work. Carl said that I met Muis when he was a student. To this day, Muis is the only person to come and see us before he even attended a lecture at LSBU. Himself and George had already set up Motives at that point, and were really determined to make the most of their time at university to really build their business, bring it out to more young people. They'll tell you all about what that involved in a moment. The fact that they were working in partnership, Muis was at LSBU and George was studying elsewhere, we saw as being a real benefit. We really encourage collaboration and think together is stronger, and these guys have really borne that out. But they're both really passionate about empowering young people, making young people aware of opportunities, helping young people to build their skills. And they're both actually also providing a really positive role model for the young people that they're working with. Both are really dedicated. Over the last 4 years, I've seen them both excel in their studies. They have gone on to secure posts at Google and Crossrail. They come in to say hello to us in the office as we're finishing up a day's work because they're just arriving to work on their business after working somewhere else. And then they're going off to schools to deliver really inspirational talks. They're just non-stop go. And throughout Muis's studies, we saw that dedication elsewhere as well. You'd see him around campus in a bright yellow t-shirt, working as a student ambassador, helping out at events. But you'd also see him in quiet spots around campus, leading study groups that he'd organised with his classmates. So I think actually he's really bearing out the name Motives and really motivating those around him. And I know George has been really involved in that whole process, and they really motivate each other. This time last year, I had a great honour of accompanying Muis to the award ceremony that the Institute of Directors put on, and they acknowledged Muis by highly commending him as a Student Director of the Year. And that was to really honour the work that George and Muis have done over the last few years. So I think you're really going to enjoy hearing a bit about what that work actually is. It's been a real pleasure seeing them develop the idea and develop themselves, and I know that we'll continue to see that in the years to come as well. So everybody please put your hands together for Muis and George.
You, Libby. Yeah. I'll probably beat the presentation. All right. 2 minutes. Come on. So when I was 17 in 2013, I had no social capital, but I always had a smile in my face. Why was this? Well, luckily, I was introduced into an entrepreneurship program, and this really opened my eyes into all the external opportunities that are out there for young people. So this basically changed my life. And we're here today to tell you about how Motives is digitizing the process for young people who want to develop themselves personally and professionally. I'm Moise.
George, we're the co-founders of Motives.
Yeah. So one thing we realized, to really spread the word of Motives, we needed to build a community. And the best way to build one is to become a part of one. And as Libby said, that's why on my first day at uni, I went straight to the Clarence Center where I met Libby, and Lindsay, and we managed to enroll into the Spark program. Now, during this program, we've managed to register our company as a limited company, devised a business plan, and throughout the process, we've built up to a team of 5 students who are really passionate about the business as well. We've got people who've got skills ranging from app development, design, and marketing. So we're all pretty screwed up in how to run the business. Our app contains a unique feature which basically allows users to see events based on what they're interested in. So it's literally you sign up, you select your interests, arts, business, entrepreneurship, and that's what you see, basically. So it's really it's really useful for young people, not just a bunch of events such as Eventbrite to confuse you. We make it bespoke on what we believe that you're interested in. To add to that, like Livia's already said it, we've managed to be involved in several pitching events, competitions. I pitched at the for the IOD and highly commended for our work that we've been doing. And also, as you can see, George there being being recognized by the Queen for our work with young people. I'm gonna pass it on to George. He'll tell you a bit more.
So that journey obviously started in 2015, but 12 months ago, our business was in a position where we had an amazing team, product, and some traction. Our business model was we took a commission on tickets, and organizers had to pay us a monthly subscription fee to upload events onto our platform. The challenge was, despite all of this, monetization still not happening. We had an app, we had no sales. And we all know, if you have no sales,
You don't have a business.
so many of you in the room probably know how that feels. We felt like that, and then this is where GES really changed everything, because we came in to mostly focus on sales and business development. Initially, we thought sales was about closing and, like, Wolf of Wall Street. We thought it was just about, how can we get as many contracts as quick as, we can. We realized it's very much about building trust, relationships. We're dealing with people. So we really need to, allow them to understand us and what we need. And through the GES sessions, we're able to learn about sales and customer personas with Anna and so forth to really understand what are the customers' needs and what are they thinking. And then we went from working with 2 schools before GES to working with over 15 schools in less than 12 months. And that really allowed us to, that's a 650% increase in, the engagement with schools. Go on, please.
or LSBU Academy on there.
Exactly. That's probably a 700% increase. So we've been doing a lot of work with many institutions, and it was through the sessions that we really learned how to really engage with people and make things happen. And we're also glad to announce that we recently got funding from Southwark Council to deliver programs right here in Southwark at more schools and make impact on the young people that we really believe in. And we also hired our first paid admin to make sure that we're, not dropping the ball at any point. And, keeping up the momentum with everything that we need to do in the business. And outside of this, we've been able to take advantage of many opportunities. But before then, remember, we've still got an app. We've still got a product. And that app now impacts over 1,500 young people on a weekly basis. That's with our app and our website. And we also, have recommended over 3,000 events over the last 12 months. And, the young people will go to 2 to 3 of these events in any given month. So that's amazing traction to just show you what we're able to do with the young people. We've been able to, meet Dr. Rami Ranger. He went from £2 to 200 million. And we learned about strategic partnerships. And we applied that to our business. We were pitched in the Mayor's Entrepreneurs as well. Louise got us to the semi-finals. We were able to have international exposure in Berlin as well, but also across the Atlantic in places like San Francisco to understand how to really build an amazing technology business. And then we also went through, fast forward, and we were able to understand how to get more clarity on building sales and our business, just as in GES. And all these things have really come together to give us more clarity on how can we get the vision. So now, not only do we have our product, we also have a services arm in the business to ensure that as we're making impact on young people, we're also able to sustain ourselves and keep it going.
Yeah, just to add to that, as George said, obviously, as I mentioned, in 2013, I was 17. Now I'm in 2019. I've managed to graduate a first-class degree in engineering while running Motives, and also, managed to work on one of the largest projects in Europe, Crossrow, like she said. And obviously doing Crossrow, I've learned how to, manage programs as well, which really helps with the programs we're all running with the young people in schools and stuff.
Yeah. And very similar to me, I've been able to work at places like Rolls-Royce as an engineer, save them £50 million in under kind of 10 weeks, and that was kind of taken to Google then, where I've interned now twice, to understand as a software engineer, how can I build amazing products that everyone would love to use. And using all of this knowledge, we've been able to build our product, and we're continuously improving it, and also partnering with these organizations to sponsor programs at schools, colleges, and universities.
And yeah, just to close it out, obviously we would like any support from anyone who's got connections with school leaders. Just feel free to speak to us after this, as our main goal is to really impact hundreds of young people. Just imagine if you had a platform when you were 16 that literally provides you with live updates of opportunities and track your achievements during this. Where could you be today?
Why 16? Why not below?
Oh, no, you can start below as well. So we're talking about the optimal person in terms of, as a parent, when do you often allow your child to get access and be able to go out?
Why monetize something that is...
So what we monetize is we have our services. So that's when we deliver programs in schools, colleges, and universities. We use our time and our knowledge to kind of, make sure we give the students as much value as possible, and that's what they pay us for right now. And with our product, what we're essentially becoming is we'll be a hub of building the talent that organizations want, and once you do that, like any recruitment firm, you get paid for what you do.
And also, just to add to that, with the young people, obviously, we're trying to, before the problem occurs, we're trying to prevent the problem. So as they're growing, we're trying to help them before, rather than, it's easier to stop the problem from prevent the problem before it.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah, we get it.
And the young people don't pay for that.
They don't pay for that. Yeah.
And I think that's a compelling thing.
Yeah, true.
Before you go, does anyone else have a question at all? Jeez, that was my question, yeah.
There's being busy, and there's the juggling act.
We've got a plan to obviously go full time on it, but
next year.
There's a plan around it for us to go full time on it. But right now we're trying to run the projects we've got now, and then
that's why we made our first hire, to make sure that
we can actually balance it.
Devoting a lot more time to it to ensure that we can keep everything going.
Because we do make the sacrifices when we need to. So, like, I'm self-employed on the project, so I could not go to work and do motives if I need to. So.
Yeah, so observation question. Obviously, it's great that you work with young people, especially in the day and plan building. Do you work with young people all different backgrounds, or specifically inner cities?
All backgrounds. It's literally up to the school. They tell us who they want us to work on or work with, and we'll work with them. So we work with everyone from hard to reach young people to people that are mid to high attainment that want to understand how do I get all A stars. We can do that because we've been able to have people in the team that are able to do that. So we can go across the whole spectrum. No worries.
Have you guys partnered with children's charities and things like that as of yet?
Not just yet. That's a great idea. Strategic partnership. That's a great idea. We haven't considered doing that just yet. We partnered with a charity, but we're still in the pilot stage of that right now.
Perfect. These guys are going to be around a bit later for us after as well. Emily, I know that you're around. Emily, I know it is. I'm not saying it is, but ultimately we have an agenda. Apologies, okay? So guys, please, let's give a big round again to George and Louise, okay? Entrepreneur, giving the game away slightly. This entrepreneur has been someone who is tackling a massive challenge of bad corporate governance. And I think as well, in the era that we're in with Thomas Cook doing what they've just done, it's something which is really pertinent and it's something which is on a lot of our agendas right now. Just thinking about how can we actually make corporations a lot more, shall we say, diligent around how they're actually spending their time. So to introduce this entrepreneur, I'd love for you to put your hands together for someone who's worked with her over the last year. As I mentioned, we do a lot of work with a number of different mentors who have some great experience in different business sectors. And this is a guy who, again, has worked with a number of our graduates over the last year as an entrepreneur resident. So please put your hands together for Neil Whitehead to introduce Carmen.
Enough to be involved with the enterprise since 2013, so I've seen some really talented boys coming through, fit to trip and all the rest of it, so it's been a fantastic experience. My background, just a little bit, because otherwise it probably won't make any sense, is I studied architecture, found it rather dull when I left architecture working in practices, and I arrived one day at a company called Fitch PLC, and it was the most amazing place in the world because it was about multidiscipline, creativity, big ideas, and smashing the world. So I've spent my entire life following, like a bit of a junkie, where all that high energy, all the big ideas are and everything else. And I have to say to you that the energy and the stuff that has been produced here is absolutely fantastic. It's diverse, it's terrifically challenging, and it's extremely exciting. So for me, that's the journey that I've followed. Now, Carmen has been a really good colleague and friend over the last few weeks. We've talked about a lot of issues and so on and so forth. If I may, Carmen, I think what I've enjoyed about you is you're obviously incredibly talented, incredibly academic, incredibly serious about what you do, and I really enjoy that, and you came from corporate life. So we've had many conversations about the difference of being an employee and being an entrepreneur and the way you have to get out there and make things happen. Things don't just come to you. And it's about doing, and it's about making things happen. The other thing I've been massively proud of you is you've gone off to the Latin American countries. I know it's your home place. You've been and talked to many SMEs, and during those conversations, your business model has changed. You've thought in a different way. You've come back. We've put in technology platforms, because how can we run your governance and your compliance? What's the benefits of it? You know, we've talked about the fact that if a company that's been run by a family in the Latin American countries, how does that family grow, and how do you get more efficiency, and how do you then trade with the UK, particularly with Brexit, that horrible word, and so on and so forth. So we've had a really enjoyable, for me personally, a really enjoyable journey through that. I know it's been a little bit challenging at times and so on and so forth, but I genuinely think you have done a great job, and I'm really looking forward to your presentation. So a big hand for Carmen. Okay? You have to use that.
Thank you, Neil. That was a wonderful introduction. My name is Carmen Diaz. We have all heard recently about demise of Thomas Cook, and that's an example of terrible governance. And that's been happening quite a lot recently. Latin America is not exempt. On the contrary, it's a major problem with corruption in the whole region. So I set out a challenge to develop a business involving consultancy for corporate governance and compliance services in the region. Well, the business is still at the stages of research and development. I have identified two main areas. In corporate governance, it's mainly the e-learning market, which seems very promising for the whole region. Is moving fast. Technology is transforming the whole place, and there are huge opportunities for it. So because of the high levels of corruption, it really is highly relevant. So I have been looking into developing online courses for the corporate sector. So that's the mission, mainly, to enable Latin American companies to trade internationally by helping them to be more compliant. So it's to align SMEs in Latin America with high quality corporate governance, so they can trade with other countries. The business model is mainly online courses, training and accreditation, and is all accredited with international bodies in the UK. My main market is in Peru. I'm looking to develop the training professional development courses dealing with conflicts of interest, director's duties, board valuation, director's liabilities, and such. I've also started looking into the CSR, corporate social responsibility element, which involves the mining industry. Mining is huge in Latin America, especially in Peru. It represents over 60% of total exports in the whole country. So it's a very important area. They have issues with environmental issues and community conflict, which has had an impact on the development of the industry. At the moment, there is about 21 billion US dollars worth of projects that are currently suspended or delayed. So there is a lot of demand for the industry. CSR needs to be developed. The laws have changed, so companies have to comply in a different way with international standards and the local laws as well. So we have worked on gathering information from in over 60 mining companies and are currently working through the list to identify potential consultancy opportunities. Human rights are also an important element to consider. They can be ignored. The environment can be ignored. Corruption can be ignored. The laws have changed, and companies have to comply with the law. I have a master's degree in corporate governance. I am qualified with ICSA, with the Institute of Corporate Governance in the UK. I'm a Spanish speaker with a long-standing interest in the region. I have an extensive network of contacts locally. I would like to hear from anyone with expertise in developing e-learning programs and digital content development. There are huge there are massive possibilities to unlock emerging markets, build development, and benefit disadvantaged communities. We can do this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you. See, it wasn't too bad, was it? Jeez. Anyone have any questions for Carmen at all? Nina?
The business landscape has changed massively. I have been in business before, and things have changed tremendously because of technology. So this is a completely different landscape that you have to learn. If you don't understand social media, you don't understand technology, you're completely out of it. So it's a whole learning experience, and it's been very helpful being in the program because you're coming into contact with other people. And the businesses that exist now didn't exist before. So that alone is major. And the fact that shops on the high street don't survive because of the internet. And that in itself is a major, it's very telling of the way things have changed.
Other questions at all?
Carmen, you mentioned your business is in the research stage at this
Yeah.
moment in time. What's your timeline for hopefully developing into a...
Well, I have been, it is a very complex area. I need, because I'm dealing with a different country, I need to understand the political context and how things work and who the main key players are. So that's why the research is taking a while to really get an understanding of what the market requires. So the next step will be to just start looking into the online courses and finding, I know where the clients are and I know what the demand is. So you need to place the offer where it fits, but you need to develop the product. I have no experience of developing online courses, and that's where the difficulty has been, trying to get that together. Thank you.
Just two questions. First of all, I think in the idea of being timely, I think it is very timely. I think with Brexit and the corporate governance structure we're used to in Europe, bringing corporate governance to new markets, I think, is absolutely fascinating because I can see some of the challenges. There is someone who specialises in that area in this country. But have you thought about the extent to which legislation might need to back up some of what you're proposing in terms of the governance structure? Because governance doesn't just sit on its own. Sometimes you actually need to think about what the legislative or regulatory framework in those countries are that they need to sit and support that. I suppose the question is, how do you then identify it and lobby to bring about that change?
That's a good question.
Yes, it has to be adapted to that market. Yeah. No, I will have to have the support and the backup of the local markets to be able to adapt the governance.
That's also probably why it's been a bit longer than anticipated in the research phase, because we're going really trying to understand that kind of time bomb, really trying to understand from a legislative perspective what the challenges are in terms of governance, not only from the political landscape, but also in terms of big corporate to SMEs. That's been a lot more time consuming than anyone could ever anticipate. So I think, as you said correctly, you really do need to understand all that ecosystem before you can really start to provide a proposition which can be compelling. And it's a testament to you that you've been able to do that, and you've now got to a stage whereby I feel that you can really understand top to bottom that whole kind of ecosystem and really what drives corporate governance. And I think the next few months for you could be really exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So, thanks, okay, from corporate governance to someone who is using video to tell really powerful stories, such as today, you're all part of his latest product, but to talk to you a bit more about the progress that our next entrepreneur has made, I'd love to introduce you to someone who has been a massive advocate for this guy right from the first day he met him as an academic in the business school. Please put your hands together for Vijay Hadid.
Thanks, Carl. So yes, as Carl said, I'm working with the School of Business as a digital innovation lecturer and strategist, developing new opportunities for the School of Business to innovate. I also run an experiential growth agency called Upflux. I met Angelo from about almost a year ago now. And as Carl said, it was from the beginning, we just noticed that there's a lot of synergy and a lot of alignment, and we could feel the energy, like, okay, yes, that's this is great. So it's amazing. There's somebody who has a real kind of entrepreneurial drive and energy, and that we felt aligned. And then since then, we've been working on a variety of things. He's been filming some of my stuff. We just sometimes just go out on the street and create some content together. And I've been, privileged to be an advisor for him and a friend. And I want to say two things. I want to say something that Angelo has. He has two things that every entrepreneur needs. There's more, obviously, but there's two that are very vital and important, and Angelo has them. The first thing is a vision, and his company and himself, he has a great vision, and the vision is to tell the tales and the stories of authentic tales and stories of people and businesses, and he's doing this with the most powerful medium that you can have, and that's today in 2019, and that's video. And the second thing is to, he's a hustler. I mean, like he knows how to make a buck. So because you need to be agile and nimble, and just look at opportunities, find new opportunities to create value. Just find constantly look out for new opportunities. And he has both of those things, and that's why I have no doubt that Angelo and his company, Tail Media, given time, given experience, you're going to be hearing a lot about this guy. So please give a hand up for Angelo.
Oh, first of all, I always talk about this hairstyle. It's horrible. Right. So I went to the barber's today, and it was a new barber, and he even made it even worse. I mean, I'm not happy at all. But anyways, but yeah. So this is me, Angelo, and where's the clicker? It's just, and my company is Tail Media. So let me just tell you a bit about the how do you call it, like the background of this company. Okay, there's actually 400 hours of video that's been uploaded to YouTube every minute. Okay, so there you go, every minute. But how many of those hours of video can you actually remember? That's the most important question, right? So for me, it is important that I see a story, an authentic story. Now, when I hear Yvonne's story, it's, wow, that's great. Like, I really feel Yvonne's story, right? When you hear stories like that, you actually feel. It's not about those calendars, it's about the feeling that you get. You get that connection. That's what we are trying to bring in. So I actually remember this particular advert, Nescafe Gold advert, if you can recall this, right? It's a brilliant advert, actually. That's one of my dreams, to actually produce an advert like this. So it's basically nothing. Like, you don't even show a Nescafe bottle at first. It's about how he talks about it. He talks about a connection that you make, right? Coffee connections. You tell a story, and like, if you actually search for this particular video, you can see the first comment, which is the most popular comment on YouTube, is, this person has actually searched for this advert, and that was his first time searching for an advert. Like, imagine how much of millions do we spend trying to like spread those adverts around different media so people could see it, and then this guy goes and search for the advert, right? So I feel that's epic. The crew behind this is perfectly done the job. So that's my company is all about. So we try to connect with people through media. So when we, actually, oh gosh, some of the words are not there, but anyways, so how we do it is, like, we speak to, if most of our clients are, we have worked with loads of companies like White Hat, LSBU Business School, Vijay, there you go. He's doing amazing stuff, and that introduction was super sexy, man. Like, thank you, that's crazy. But, the reality is, so many people try to do adverts where they just showcase the product, and they're like, okay, this is the amount, you can buy the advert. Buy the product. But does it, like, I mean, we see so much of adverts on television, on YouTube, on social media. We are like, oh, this is the product, you can buy it, it's £5. But does it actually connect with your audience? It wouldn't. Like, but let's say Yvonne, she has calendars, but it's so many people sells calendars, right? But does she actually sells calendars? No. She sells an experience. But if you can showcase that experience to people, they'll have emotional connection with that product. They'll always buy it. They'll always come again. That's how we do it. At least how we envision doing an advert. So my background, you can't actually see much, right? Oh, that's my fault. But I started as a songwriter. In my journey, I told a lot of stories. The technician back there is one of my really good friends back from Sri Lanka. We have a similar how do you say, we have similar experiences. He's really, he knows a lot of broadcasting. So when I wrote songs, it's all about stories, personal stories. Some people started crying, some people started laughing, you know, recalling their own experiences. That's when I knew that I had this particular, you know, interest in stories. When I compose music, it's all about stories. And then when I was doing modeling, I did fitness modeling. But there was this experience where I had to actually model for a brand called Fila, you know, the brand. And they, well, they actually had this new undergarment line where I call it undies. And I was walking along, you know, there was people around and, you know, checking out this new undie. And this small girl screams, not even shouts, screams to the whole town to hear, "Oh, this dude's wearing an undie." That's what she said. Screamed. I was like, oh, this is so horrible. It's like, I mean, it's a good thing to model, but like humiliation. Oh. I was like, well, I'm gonna start a company, and I'm gonna get some other people to model for me. Right? That's when I was like, that's what I should be doing. So that's my background. That's how I started my company. I was featured in some television adverts, and that's when I got the idea. You know what? I like this industry. I like story. I like to tell stories. It's video and audio. So we do adverts, not just showing a product and saying the amount of the product. Where we try to tell stories. We do live streaming, and today is our very first live stream, which you can see online. And yeah, so you can check it out later on as well. And we do jingles. Because I'm a songwriter, I thought, why not? You know? So I made my own music for the adverts as well. And my business model, oh, now comes the boring part. But I'll talk about the value proposition. Why are we different? I mean, there are so much of video editors, video camera operators. I mean, everyone calls themselves a video director these days, right? Like, you've got a mobile, you're a video editor, right? He actually just recorded a video, so you can edit it and publish it. It's gonna be good. But it's about creativeness. It's about storytelling. It's about creating that unique, how do you say, like creating this amazing product that people would just feel that connection. That's what a proper video advert should portray, and that's what we do. And we are quick in our delivery. The reason is we do audio and video together. So we don't, I mean, normally a video editor would spend a lot of time searching for an audio track. What we do is we design the audio along with the video. So that's, unless the client, of course, needs a special audio track on their own. So, which means our, delivery times are really shortened out. And we have low prices because of the same thing. We don't buy music, we create music. And because of that process, our cost is really low. And we offer professional service. I mean, everyone says that, right? Everyone's offering professional services these days. But we like to hear from our customers. And I mean, we have done some work, and we be like, okay, how can we improve our work? That's important to us. Customers are important. That's our ethos. Customers comes first. And delivering an amazing product comes first. Second comes the money, And so, yeah. So throughout the year, it was a rough year, but at the same time, we did a lot of work. We met a lot of people. We met a lot of clients, potential clients. And we worked with LSBU, you guys. And White Hat, station cars, London bus. It literally was a club inside a bus. Worked with them. And some pioneering projects with London South Bank University, the business school. Got some amazing feedback. So a new stream, like I told you, a live stream service. Today is our launch. And it can help you with training sessions, like these kind of events, so people could watch it, if they can't attend it, they can watch it at home. And how we are doing so far, our turnover is at 11,500 and rising. And with our new projections are around more than 40,000 next year with the live streaming service. We got some new equipment, new camera gear. There will be more camera gear coming in. And our new service, of course, and then the lives. We are going to launch a channel where we'll be streaming. We're going to invite in people so they can, they can come and talk about their businesses, how to improve their businesses. Like you can just gain some knowledge from those. That's the weekly live stream. So thank you very much, and especially I need to tell you this, Carl and the team, right? They've been amazing. I wouldn't be able to do this, come this far, if not for them. So I think their work is really underrated. I really think so. So amazing guys, amazing team, Nina, and Lindsay, and everyone, and especially all you guys. George always have a motivational quote whenever I speak to him, right? So I love the guy. This guy. If you're down, you speak to George, like those Italians said. Amazing, all right? But thank you very much, guys.
Does anyone have any quick questions for Angelo at all? Intel Media? Anyone? I've got a very quick question then, Angelo. I think one challenge I've seen with you guys, especially yourself, is that you've been approaching this from the perspective of being an international student. How have you managed that obligation with obviously managing the obligations to the business and trying to expand it as well through the program?
Oh, that's the crazy part. For me, it's a yearly program. Like yearly, I have to renew my visa. So I have to think, oh, it's so unexpectancy, right? That's how you pronounce it. So you're talking about Brexit, then yeah, talk about unexpectancy with me and my business. But it's, Carl, you have been really helpful. I mean,
and the team.
Like, the thing is that, yeah, of course, the team as well. Like, you helped me, the team and you, and they helped me, like, to set up as to how I'm going to go monthly as to, overcoming those obstacles and, thinking about, how I'm going to go further. And it's been really helpful. Otherwise, I would be like, wow, it's overwhelming in a way, but thank you very much.
No worries. Yeah. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Right, and to our last, but by no means least entrepreneur. So this guy, he's been working with us for a couple of years now, and just watching his progress has been phenomenal over the last 2 years. He's taken on a really big challenge again of really trying to help educate what he calls accidental landlords become financially compliant. So as well as ourselves and the team, he's also been doing a lot of work with one of our entrepreneurs in residence. So to really give him a great introduction, I'd love for you to put your hands together for Anna Sexton to talk more about this next entrepreneur. Thank you, Anna.
Okay, so it's my pleasure to introduce you, Roger. And I think something that hasn't really been spoken about tonight is what it takes to keep going. So I don't think the title Comeback Kid is far from it, because Roger is someone who, throughout the 2 years of being around the journey of being a graduate entrepreneur, has kept at it. He has resilience in bucket loads, determination in bucket loads, and the essential ingredient of humility to know when things aren't working. So this is a big part of an entrepreneur's journey, and it doesn't get talked about very often. I think there's lots of nodding in the room. It takes a lot to fail and come back again. And fail doesn't mean really it's, a bad thing. It's just that Roger has the capability of coming up with amazing ideas, and when he's scoped out the market for it and seen that it's not probably a thing that's going to grow for him, he's developed another idea, and then he's developed another idea. And all of this while he's been supporting himself and doing other jobs and supporting others in the journey. And I think this is the true mark of this person. So you are someone who has taken on board the support of the different people that you've met. And now the app that Roger is developing with a team is something that I think would really benefit very many people who, like myself, have become accidental landlords at different times and have no clue about how the hell to manage your money. So I think this is something that is really niche, and it has real potential to help a lot of people to be compliant with making sure they're paying the right tax, but also make the most out of being a landlord and making money from their own property. So I really want you to put your hands together for Roger. He epitomizes what I think it means to be an entrepreneur. Keep going, keep trying, keep developing, and that quality of bringing people along with you at the same time. So you've gone from being a one-person band, and now you have a team. And I really wish you all the very, very best for the future. And I hope that I see your app very, very soon, and I'll be buying it. So well done. Hand of applause.
Hello everyone, my name is Roger and I'm the founder of Prop Books. And what I'd like to say about the journey on the entrepreneurial scheme is that what I found that's more important than the business goal is the character you become in the process. And that character is what I've learned that's more important is to have resilience, have integrity, and be confident and bold. So I'm just going to tell you guys about Prop Books and what we do. So click. Okay, cool. So here we go. So Prop Books. So Prop Books is an easy-to-use accounting software designed for residential landlords. The problem that we have that landlords are facing in 2019 is that HMRC is changing their tax system and they're making it digital. So has anyone seen any adverts around making tax digital for that? Hands up. Okay. So what will be following soon is that income tax will be following. Income tax will be digital as well. So that means businesses, corporation tax, and income tax will be following straight after VAT. And that will be slowly implemented within the next 2 years. So the problem that we found is that 66 landlords are still using spreadsheets and paper for record keeping. That will be obsolete when it becomes implemented for making tax digital for income tax. And also what we found is that the reasons that landlords think it will be difficult to make digital records of their business transactions is because they feel that they lack the limited ICT skills and also the digital confidence. Another thing that the researchers found is that 21% of landlords are concerned about the time it will take to provide quarterly returns to HMRC. So our solution is that we're online accounting software streamlined with HMRC's making tax digital for income tax. The solution that we offer is that we allow unincorporated landlords to save money. And the way how we make them save money is by giving them an easy-to-use online tool to make business transactions, records of their business transactions, which will allow them to save £1,440 a year by just doing their own bookkeeping on our software. Also, we allow them to save time with automated record keeping, and which will allow them to save 12 hours a year with bookkeeping tasks. So the product, we just have a brief look at the product. So once you've entered your business transactions, like your income and your expenses, you'll get a summary of your self-assessment, which will automatically generate within the software, and then you will submit quarterly tax returns, and that will go straight to HMRC. So we've built an API that will streamline with HMRC. So the market validation that we have so far is that on our landing page, we've signed up 27 accountants and also 203 landlords. Okay, so the total available market of unincorporated landlords is 2.6 million within the UK. Currently, there's 13% of the market is using a software for their tax-related tasks. And so that's roughly 300,000 people within the UK. Our target audience that we're looking for, this is our customer persona. So this is the profile of our customer, which is Landlord Steve. Landlord Steve is from age 35 to 54. He's married. He's located in England and Wales. And also the key identifiers is that he has a full-time career. So that means he's not a professional landlord. He's an unprofessional landlord. He has a full-time job, but he also has 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 properties. And so the challenge that he faces is the lack of knowledge on how to meet making tax digital requirements. We aim on capturing 6,000 6,000 of Steves within the total available market by 2022. So our route to market is that we're going for an endorsement strategy where we want to be endorsed by property accountants and property tax advisors. And the way how our route to market strategy is that we're gonna recruit accountants in our partnership program. So we're gonna do this by cold calling. We're gonna do this by social media ads. We're also gonna educate them with webinars and physical events to show them what the value is of using our software with their clients for their onboarding process and also getting to know their client process. And obviously, we want to grow via our accountants partnership. So we'll have an online directory where any residential landlord that's using the software will be able to see our online directory of these property accountants and property tax advisors. And our business model is it's a monthly subscription fee, and we're targeting residential landlords with 1 to 4 properties. The starting price is £8 a month. We have 2 different packages. We have a landlord package, and we also have an accountant package. Our product roadmap is that eventually what we want to introduce is financial products. That's one of our key targets. And our competition, the way how we're differentiating ourselves in the market is that we're making sure that we have a user interface that's optimized for unincorporated landlords and also get automated and fast results. Our competitive advantage is that we're easy to use and it's solely designed for unincorporated landlords. Also, our partnership program would allow us to also have a competitive advantage. And other competitive advantage is the API that we've linked with HMRC. And this is the team. This is me, Roger, the founder. And I have a lead developer called Krishna, and also the product manager, Debendu. And go back. propbooks.co.uk. If there's any landlords or accountants, you can go online and you can sign up to our software. And that's it. Cheers. Cheers, thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, Roger.
Cool.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Does anyone have any questions for Roger at all? Nina?
I speak to a lot of students and graduates through one-to-ones where I really the aim is for them to have that kind of customer profile. What did you do to get to that point?
To get the customer.
To get to that point, yeah. What research did you do to kind of identify so that you knew that Steve was 35 to 55, white British, full-time job, that kind of thing?
Yeah, a lot of the research came from secondary research. So there was a lot of data around the landlord industry, because as you know, the landlord industry is really big within the UK. You know, it's like the most popular thing to do as a safe investment. So the government has a lot of information around landlords within the UK. So we've captured a lot of data from those websites, and also primary research as well, where we've directly spoken to landlords, and then we built the customer profile around that. And obviously, when the software is actually being used, that customer profile will probably change. So, yeah. So any other?
Quite established customer base that you've got. Are they localised like London yet, or is your sort of go-to-market been across the UK, or is it?
Yeah, we're focusing on England and Wales at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you found they're all from one place?
They're across the board. Across the board.
Perfect. Well, let's give a big round of applause for Roger again. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. No worries. So that's been our graduate entrepreneurs. And as you can tell, they've made a ton of progress over the last year. They've achieved so many incredible accomplishments. But at the same time, that's just the beginning of their journey, all right? I'm sure you realize that now they're going to go out into the big bad world and really take those accomplishments further. But before you do, I'd love to bring up someone who's actually done just that. A couple of years ago, she was in your position. She had just pitched, she felt elated, she felt buzzed. And then she went out and she achieved so much more over the last couple of years. So guys, just to give you a bit more insight into what she's doing now, but also as well, just to give you a bit more insight into how you can really sustain yourself over those challenges that you're going to achieve, but also really as well start to, understand how to take your business further. I'd love for you to put your hands together for Emily Mendy from Busybodies.
Drinks at Sadiq Khan's office. So. I think most of the key points have been raised tonight, and there is not much that I can add. And maybe I'm just going to join what Roger said, which is very, very important. And really, I'm not really sure. I had good advices that I wanted to give you, but Yvonne's speech was really unique because when we decide to become entrepreneur, we are motivated, we are passionate, we want to do it. We don't have the money, we think that the next year we're going to be millionaire or something. And we're still there, and we know that we're going to be there. But in fact, we have family. We have a family, so we have friends. We want to meet new people because maybe they're not entrepreneur, and actually the only people that understand your language LSBU enterprise for me. That were the only one. I would go home and cry and not understand. My husband would be, don't worry, it's going to be fine, but he would not have a clue what I'm talking about. But he was there. And really, what I would say is just be you and be honest to yourself. Because when I started, like I said, even my English, oh my God. I mean, you didn't know me. No, not even Libya. It was terrible. But because I was really motivated, and I'm someone, communication, I'm not afraid of it. I really don't care. If I want something, I go for it. And on top of that, I'm a woman. So trust me, I will get it. So, and when I started my business, so I was pregnant, and I was actually I had a very bad pregnancy. And in fact, they thought that I was going to not survive. I was dehydrated. It was terrible. And I realized that I love my kids, but I also love my life. So I started to plan things, and then, yes, I will do this when I give birth, and actually I wasn't even sure where I was going. Then I gave birth, then I had this lovely girl, so she was my second one, and I just decided to teach French to young children in my area through art. And I live in Rotherhithe. I don't know if you know the area. It's a very difficult area. Not because of the color, maybe because of being a woman, but mostly because you're not from the area. And you have to be an insider to succeed. Or maybe just to be part of the group, I would say. So when I started, I was going to community council meetings, and people would tell me, oh, what's your request? Councillors or people from the council? Or I would say nothing. I just want to find out what's going on here, and people would be surprised. Then I started just to give some classes for free, and kids would attend. Parents wouldn't know me, but then because it's free, they will get there. Then I started gradually to apply for funding, attend. I mean, my first event was the Bernze Carnival, and I remember nobody came to greet me from the community, just parents. I was the only one running a free event during that on that day for children. It was raining, parents wouldn't leave, but nobody from the community came except one councillor, and the rest of them apparently were standing just looking at me. The year after, because I was successful, I'd been invited, and I got offered some money to deliver something, and then so on and so on. Then one day, we had so many issues in immigration, different things. And one day, my husband started a new job, and he was waiting for his contract. So he signed the contract, and then he was a driver. So they were allowed to bring the van home. Then the van got stolen. So he said to me, oh, call the council. I think they just clamped my van. Maybe they took it. I said, no, they don't do that down the estates anymore. So someone stole your van. He didn't trust me. It was Sunday, and the van was stolen. Funny enough, it was a bad day, but it was also a very good day, because I was then going to uni. I was just fed up. I said, I'm just leaving my room, my course. And I saw Clarence Center. I said, oh, what is this? Then I got there. I think Leo was there. I'm not sure if Lindsay was there. I can't remember. Then I said, okay, what is this? So if you want to start your business, you can just come here. So they called the team. lucky enough, I got up in the office, and then the next day I had an office. I had everything to start my business. So I just cut the side. I'm just cutting everything that says that, you know, when you look for an office and then you can receive your mail at the post office and you pay £250 for 3 months and you have to go and get it. So you just depress and I will get it. So the next day I'm in this nice office. I can welcome people in the meeting rooms and everything and so on and so on and so on. And then that's when I felt that I was someone. They were there to listen to me. And then the disaster is starting. I don't want to do my business anymore. Oh, today I got some funding. Fantastic, I'm meeting this new person. I've got a networking, I've got a meeting. So you just go like a little cat or maybe a butterfly where you jump everywhere. You don't know where you're going and then you don't stop. That's where you start to become yourself. And you make the mistakes because you don't know where you're going, but you know that you want to change the world because everything is unbelievable. You can't believe that people are doing this. You want to solve the solution, but in fact you want to prevent the solution. But you realize that a couple of years after. So I've started my business, wanted to teach French through art. People were like, why French? Why not Spanish? Because I'm a bloody French and originally from Africa. What's the problem? And I don't know what happened, but I met so many people, and I started to select my network. And that's where the motivation, the excitement, the everything, the stress as well, starts, but it's brilliant. Today, I am Emilie Mendy, the founder and director of Busybodies, CIC, the project manager of the Fab Bus, a double-decker bus can fit technology inside, 3D printers, VR, we do electronics, coding, so for Fab Foundation UK. Okay, I'm going to tell you the secret. It's going to happen tomorrow or the day after. I am becoming an ambassador for Create Education, if you know the 3D printers, Ultimaker. I am still in contact with some people in New York, thanks to London South Bank University. So thank you so much. We went to New York, free of charge. And I've been successful at fundraising, knowing that English isn't my first language, and I'm still struggling with English, as you can hear. What else did I do? So we do creative project where the children develop now language skill through art and technology. So this one was through the mayor's program, Culture Seeds, and out of 200 projects, the mayor was giving 10 awards, and the kids were part of them. That was last May. So they're all in primary school, and they had to bring this little prize here in their school. Some of them, the head teacher wasn't interested. So yes, before I wanted to teach French, now we're focusing on languages because it's not only French, but also I want to create activities or workshops that actually builds confidence for these young children, give them opportunities, access to unique workshops, people that can actually change their lives. And that's it, really. And you know, you said earlier that you're looking for people to work with you, to collaborate. In business, I don't think that you look for people. I think you have to show to people that actually they need you, because that's why you set up your business. So you're trying to solve a problem. So I think don't tell people that you need them. Just tell them this is what we're doing, and yes, we can prevent this problem. And then you will move forward and faster. I think tonight it was really, really good to hear all your stories. I don't think I can give you many advices. Just believe in yourself. Take some rest. Have a social life, to be honest. Take the time to listen, because we don't know everything, and then just share your knowledge. Money will come. Neil, isn't it? He's not listening to me. You see? And that's okay. And then you will, and that's how we all ended up at a great place. And I would ask now if you could just join your hands together to thank London South Bank University, especially the Clarence Center, for all your time, efforts, motivation to put us where we are now. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Emily. That's fine. Perfect. So that's that. that's that. Tonight you've heard from students who are entrepreneurs, who are taking their businesses forward. You've heard from our graduates who have really demonstrated over the last year they had a massive impact in terms of what they're doing. And you've also heard from someone who's post the Graduate Entrepreneur Scheme, taking a business forward to some incredible accomplishments there. Obviously, everyone's going to stick around for a bit, so there's still a lot of food around, there's still a bit of drink around, so feel free to grab some, feel free to take it all. But again, please give yourselves an audience a massive round of applause. And also as well, put your hands massively together for everyone that pitched today. It's such a daunting effort to come up here and to share their stories. All right? But if you are interested in what we do, feel free to drop us a line. Obviously, graduates, you know this is not the end. We're going to be harassing you further to, keep us up to date with regards to what you're doing. But please keep in touch. Our doors are your doors, and we're open all the time, right? So again, if you have any queries with regards to anyone, please feel free to just ask them about the business. And thanks again for your time. And please feel free to have some food. Cheers. Oh yeah, sorry. Quick point.
A bit ad hoc, sorry. So I'm Hayley and I'm here with my colleague Kai, and we work on placements and internships for current students. Just wondering if any of you would be interested in, or if you're looking for interns, maybe we could get in touch, because we're really trying to give students work experience before they finish. So we're part of the wider careers team, but we're seeing a lot of graduates that have got nothing on their CV, and as your alumni from the uni, maybe that could be something we follow up.
There you go.
And it's been really inspirational.
Simon. Perfect. Thank you. Enjoy the food, guys. Thanks.